Just trying to get set up here. I had to move locations because I wasn't getting good service where I was. So yeah, so here I am. It's Monday morning, and we're getting going here. We're trying to live our best life. And how do we do that? How do we get on with our life? We have our best days. How do we perform at our best? Um, what are the ways that we can get to where we want to be? And one of the ways we can do that is by not drinking. It's not easy to quit drinking. It's definitely one of the hardest things there is out there to do. I mean, I didn't uh, just quit uh, easily. I didn't quit cold turkey. It didn't come just naturally to me. It took work. It took some things happening in my life to make it stick. Um, but as always, this meeting is basically about anything that you want to talk about, any struggles that you might have in your life and your issues with trying to stay alcohol free. But I'll talk and I'll listen, whatever is necessary, but whatever we can do to help each other out. So I'll go in detail about how I was able to quit drinking, and then kind of go from there. Uh, I had an issue with my anger. Anger was the biggest thing for my drinking. Um, Alcohol, I knew, fueled my irritability, my anxiety, my depression, um, just my overall anger. And I used to just lash out. I needed an outlet. I needed a way to let go of that anger. And I just didn't feel like, no matter what I said and how I said it and who I said it to, it was never satisfying enough. It was never enough to make me feel like uh, I was heard. I certainly wasn't able to work things out myself. As much as I tried to handle everything on my own, it was impossible to work things out in my own head. Uh, and so, what quitting drinking helped me find was that in order to get out of my head, I needed to kind of open up, talk to people, like be vulnerable, admit when I'm having cravings to drink alcohol, admit when I'm having uh, serious thoughts to drink, uh, because they come on, and they come on quick in that first week when you're trying to not drink. So it's Monday today. I happened to quit on a Monday. I had a blow up at my family on a Sunday night, and man, I just welcome legend and hello Anthony. And so I had a blow up at my family. I was pretty much blacked out at that point. I had been drinking the entire day, and I got to a point at the end of the day where I was taking shots of hard liquor just to numb out, get rid of those anxiety feelings, those feelings of just dread, the feelings of, man, nothing's working out for me. And how many of us drink like that? How many of us use alcohol to cope with those thoughts? I mean, yeah, sometimes we wake up and we think, man, what's all this for? I mean, what's the purpose of all this? I mean, just this morning I woke up and I thought, woe is me. I was having like a little bit of one of those plum parties, those poor little old me feelings, and I pretty much quickly snapped out of it. I can do that these days because I've been sober for 5 years. I mean, I have my sobriety to thank for that, but I can kind of talk myself out. One of the things is that triggers my anxiety is change. I don't deal well with change. So anything that is coming up, and then sometimes it takes me a minute to realize what it is I'm kind of anxious about. We have school that's letting out this week, and my daughter's going to be home for the summer. She's finishing up fifth grade, and so that's change. I mean, going back to school for me always was stressful, all through elementary, all through high school, and into college even. Um, and now it's through my daughter. We homeschooled her for several years there after the pandemic, and that's really what happened. And now I'm like finding myself like stressed out about her being home all summer, and so I recognize that, thankfully, and I'm able to I'll be able to work through that now. But yeah, there's changes and a lot of things. Hi Danielle, welcome. And so we're just talking a little bit about how we're able to get through our cravings to drink alcohol. So being that I'm uh, sober and I've been sober for a long time, it doesn't mean that my anxiety goes away. It doesn't mean that I still don't have issues. We all we all have issues, right? But and I don't mean to laugh and make light of that, but it just reminded me of somebody that used to say, "Man, you got issues, dude," and he'd say that to another one of my coworkers, and it just made me laugh all the time. But so how do we get through these cravings to drink alcohol? And the first and foremost thing that I was mentioning before was that we need to be able to talk to people. It's impossible to do this on our own. We can't possibly work through all the things that we have going on in our minds all on our own. And I tried to do that for so long. I think a lot of us do that. We try willpower, we try to work things out, and it's just like any other crutch. You know, if you have problems with overeating or gambling or porn or any of these things, if we are having urges to do those things and we're trying to suppress those urges by ignoring it, it doesn't work. We need to find people that know what it's like, what we're going through, and open up to them. Talk to them about what it is we're why we're seeking that escape. Um, I seeked an escape from my reality for many years, even into my sobriety. I still wished I could find a way out, and it was just one of those things where I wished I um, could get away. And alcohol helped quiet that voice for me for so long. It was my crutch. It was what I used. And there's different levels of alcoholism. There's different levels of people's issues with drinking. Some people can drink a case of beer and function. Some people can have one or two beers and it's a problem for them. Um, and somewhere in between lies where I was. And so I leaned on alcohol to cope with life, to cope with um, all the things that were going on that weren't working out for me. And but it added more problems. It really did, and I wasn't able to see that until I was able to quit for a while, for a few weeks, for a month, and give it some time, alcohol free. But for that first few days, for that first week, um, I had strong cravings, and the biggest thing was to be able to talk to my group, my sobriety group, get on there, type out why I was having the cravings. 10 to 1, it was a guilty feeling. It was something I was feeling guilty about saying, something I was guilty about doing, and it usually revolved around my family members. And I might take that to heart, and I'd kind of start feeling bad for myself, and then I would crave alcohol, crave an escape, anything. So I ended up getting on This Naked Mind, and I went on there and I would post what I was feeling, how I was, what my urges were, why I was needing an escape, and that was really where it began. I went a week. I was able to basically go through a few strong urges. I had a therapy session a week later. I told myself I was going to be drinking after that therapy session, and I went to therapy. I told him what my plans were, and he said, if you're going to drink, go home and drink your drinks. I'm not condoning it, but think about how it's making you feel. Don't just get wasted for no reason. Think about it. Think about how you feel. So I got home and I listened to my wife and kids having a good time out in the living room, and I thought, man, why would I want to go to the fridge and open those beers up? I could do that. I could just sit there and pound them one after another, get wasted, and start back over the next day. But I was tired of doing that, and that's really what helped me ultimately in that first week, in that first 10 days, stay sober was remembering how I felt, really remembering how I felt and not wanting to go back to that hell. I mean, I was to a point where I didn't want to be drunk anymore. How's it going, Woodbro? And yeah, I didn't want to drink anymore because it made me feel terrible. But a lot of times, we drink and then we give it some time away from alcohol, but a week might go by or so, and we forget about the bad times. We can only remember the good things that alcohol brought us. So we drink again, and then we're right back in that cycle. We start it back over again. And man, it's like we can't get out. It's like it's like a snare, and we keep going back to it because we forget about just how bad it made us feel. And so thinking about it from in terms of, you know, I don't want to go back to feeling like crap. That's first and foremost. And I keep that in the front of my mind, the panic and the anxiety, my heart rate being over 100, that last hangover that I had, uh, the guilt and shame that I felt about like taking out all my anger and my pain out on my family, and just how alcohol was contributing and the leading contributor to all of that. My mental health was in dire straits, and I knew that the alcohol was the main cause of that. It was uh, I had other things that I needed to work out, but the alcohol was keeping me from being able to work all that out. So first and foremost was remembering all the bad things that alcohol causes, and then to take it a step further, we can kind of find other things to do in the meantime. So if you know that you're going to be drinking at X time, you can make a plan for that. So making a plan is like uh, the next step. And it's been a great day. How about you? And you know, if we have a plan and we have a course of action we can take when we have the urges to drink, then we can get through it. And then when we get through it, we're stronger for the next urge. We can feel proud that we made it through that urge. Um, as silly as it sounds, uh, it really is the foundation of sobriety. Really working through those urges to drink because it's our crutch. And if we can make it through it without it and find other things that are healthy for us, we're able to kind of move on and find that there's lots of other things to do besides drink alcohol. Um, I mean, I took up walking and hiking right away. That was one of the things that I started right away doing. Going outside and walking my dogs more was another thing because, man, I just how often did we kind of blow things off because we'd rather be drinking? And so taking the time to find other things that we actually enjoy doing besides drinking alcohol is huge. And like I said, Monday, that's when I started. Today's Monday. It's a great day to start over. Maybe you had a weekend bender. You drank all weekend and you're not feeling great. Maybe you had the hangover yesterday. Maybe it's today, but no better time than now to start. And and then so the next step would basically be to start to journal. Journaling is a huge one. Kind of write down why it is that you're feeling a need to escape. Why alcohol is you think that's going to be the cure all. Um, that when I went to therapy, my therapist asked me why I wanted to quit drinking alcohol, and he said, and don't say it's because you don't want to die or because you don't want to feel sick anymore or anything like that. Like, what are the real reasons? What are the benefits that you're seeking by not drinking anymore? And I told him I gave that a lot of thought because that's really the foundation of This Naked Mind, which is a book by Annie Grace. She wrote about uh, how sobriety is empowering, and she didn't really use the word sobriety. She used alcohol free, but uh, once you have a little bit of alcohol free time, you see that it's better, life's better without alcohol, and that's empowering. Like, we gave it up for our own benefit, and so I gave it some thought. And so my biggest thing was that I wanted better relationships with myself and my family. I didn't want that relationship with alcohol to be the number one thing anymore. I didn't want alcohol to be the only thing that I thought about when I woke up, and until that binge, and then having the hangover and still thinking about how alcohol is making me feel, and having alcohol be the cornerstone of my existence 24/7. Addiction um, is such a insidious thing. We don't really think about it like that when we're in it. But the more we think about um, alcohol and what it does to us after we've quit for a few days or a week, we can see that just how it has a tug on us. It pulls us back in. It keeps us in that addiction cycle because we just crave that feeling all the time, and we're striving for it, and then our tolerance goes up, up, and up, and we have to drink more to maintain that feeling of euphoria. And um and so it's so much better to not have to think about drinking at all. Once we give it a little bit of time, like a week, we start to see that not even thinking about that drinking session is better. Like, we don't have to even give it any thought how much we're drinking, how much we're going to drink, what time we're going to start drinking, if it's going to affect my work day tomorrow, if it's going to affect my relationship with my kids. How much can I have that I feel good, but it's not going to ruin my day? And I got to a point where it was ruining my day all the time. It was kind of ruining my mindset for the day. And instead of going on in our lives, and we can build on that. Um, and that's really what that first week is: getting over the urges to drink, and then kind of building on that, building, building like like a toolbox. It's like a tool chest, and every little tool that you can add to stay alcohol free, you put it in that tool chest. You get it out when you need it, and put it to use. And sometimes there's tools in there that you didn't even know that you built or accumulated over that period of time that you got through those urges to drink. But they're there, and you can use them, and you can use them to your advantage. And what a blessing that is to have those tools there to be able to use them when you need them. So I'm so glad that you guys came here with me. Those are just a few things that I used early on in my sobriety. I thought about it in the forefront. I kept the pain and the issues that alcohol, the bad things that alcohol caused me in the forefront of my mind. And when I would think about using alcohol to cope, I would think about all those bad things, and it really helped me get through it. I would talk to my wife. I would talk to this Naked Mind community. Uh, I would get back on. I'd go back on there, see what people were saying, and what they had to say on there was, if you make it through this urge to drink, you're going to be stronger for the next one. And then you make it through that one, you're going to be stronger for the next one. It's like a building. Uh, it's every single time you make it through an urge to drink, you're stronger for the next one, and eventually you don't even crave alcohol at all. You don't want it. It's not something that you think about anymore. It's not something that even plays a role in your thinking anymore. And then you build up new neural pathways. You build up new things that you like to do that bring you joy other than drinking. And um, and so now I built a sobriety group. It's called Sobriety in the Storm. It's on Facebook. It's a private group. If you'd like to join there, it's 24/7. We're on there. Anything that you have to say or need in your sobriety and trying to get sober and putting alcohol down finally for good, you can post on there, and it's all private. And I pin the links in all my videos. So if you click on my videos, you'll see in the comments section that group, and you just click on there and ask you a few questions. You join on, and yeah, we can help each other out. So I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you next time, Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Have a great sober day, everybody.